lottery tickets, surefire investments, get-rich-quick schemes. We all know that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So why is it we so often see otherwise intelligent people sucked into things that never quite work out? What I have found is how frequently people willingly suspend their wisdom, their common sense, with the hope that maybe this is how God wants to bless. That unwillingness to risk missing out on the possibility that this is what God has for me. In fact, I think of a specific situation with a pastor friend years ago who will remain anonymous. And I actually said, it doesn't work that way. And his response was, I know you're right, but what if? Again, that idea of being unwilling to miss out if this is how God wants to bless me. And what we see is, more often than not, these things end in pain and loss. And that once in a million where they do win the proverbial lottery, what they thought would be a blessing, in time winds up to be a disaster. That blessing actually was a curse. Now, we all want to think that we would respond, we would handle it differently. And the good news is, that's what God wants for us also. And so we need to establish for ourselves and those we lead, those we influence, we need to establish God's process for financial success. And understanding that with God there are no shortcuts, but there are accelerators. So Proverbs tells us that wealth gained hastily will be lost. That every get-rich-quick scheme, no matter what it is, no matter how good it sounds, no matter how compelling the story, no matter how good of a supposed track record it has, no get-rich-quick schemes will work. And in fact, God won't bless those. But he does go on to say, he who gathers little by little makes it grow. Now, there could be that sense that, well, that's going to take forever. Well, that's because we don't understand God's process of promotion. So what starts out small and may appear to be slow, because of God's principle of faithfulness, as we prove faithful, as we demonstrate that we are going to do it different, then God's blessing comes upon it and brings with it promotion. That's the accelerator. That's the God-powered accelerator of financial success. And that's why all of these maybe potentially compelling stories ultimately are not from God. Why? Because God truly does want to bless, and he wants us to have his best. But he wants it to be literally a blessing and not a curse.